This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN Network, and we're a proud media sponsor for the upcoming Precious Metal Summit Beaver Creek being held virtually this year. And joining me right now is Darren Blasutti. He is the president and CEO of America's Gold and Silver Corp. It's a publicly traded company. I got two symbols for you: USA on the TSX and USAS on the NYSE American. Darren, thank you for joining me today. How you doing?
I'm great. Couldn't be better. Glad to be kicking off conference season with you.
Well, I'm glad to be kicking off conference season with you. Let's do this. So let's get started with a very quick overview and history of the company, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, so traditionally, America's Gold and Silver was mostly a silver company. Through 2012 through about 2018, we produced a couple million ounces of silver out of our mines in Idaho and Mexico. And then in 2018, we bought a company called Pershing Gold, which we closed in 2019, funded the mine, and right now that new mine, which is the Relief Canyon mine, is ramping its way up into production. It's into commercial production, which we expect before the end of 2020. It's been taking a little longer than we'd like, but going better right now, as new mines often do take a little bit longer than you'd expect or hope. But we're very confident the way it's leaching gold right now that it'll be in commercial production before the end of the year.
Very good. Yeah, right. Building mines. You think it happens like this. Sometimes takes a little longer, I guess, right? I mean,
yeah, it's interesting. You know, we built a couple of silver mines that had mills, and when you put the ore in the mill, and something comes out the other end every time. Maybe not be as much as you wanted, or maybe not exactly the way you expected, but something comes out. With leaching, we found that obviously in my old days, I used to work at Barrick Gold. We did a lot of leaching in Nevada. Thought it would be a relatively straightforward process, and the mine actually is. But there was a little bit of remnant ore at the top of the ore body that has been there and sitting for about 20 or 30 years, waiting for it to be extracted. So that had a little bit more silver than expected, and silver takes a little bit longer to leach. So we've gotten past that initial 20,000 ounces that was on top of the mine, and now we're looking at the other 630 that's below. We got that on the leach pad in August, and it's leaching really well right now. And as again, we expect to be in commercial production the fourth quarter, which is pretty quick from where we are today.
So Darren, we actually had a member of the team on the show later in the year last year. So I'd love to get an update. You know what, you alluded to a few things already. So I'd love to get a higher level, some of the corporate highlights of the last 12 months or so.
Sure, and I think last year when you would have talked to Jack Perkins, I think Jack would have told you that we were building the mine. So in February, the Relief Canyon gold mine in Nevada, in February we poured first gold, and again we expected that to get into commercial production in the third quarter. That got delayed a little bit, as I said, in the fourth quarter, just given that some of the ore had more silver than expected, the remnant ore. Now that we're in the newer part of the ore body, that's going very well, so no problems there. So that's the first thing. And obviously, since you would have talked to Jack, silver prices have gone up quite materially. And so for our two mines, the Galena mine up in northern Idaho, which is a 60-40 joint venture between us and a guy named Eric Sprott, who would be familiar to a lot of your
Wait, who?
Yeah, exactly.
Who?
So Eric is an owner personally of the mine, 40%. And that mine we went under a recapitalization where Eric put 20 million US into it, helped us get it back up on its feet. And we're seeing some great results as, silver's gone from 17 to 26. We saw some fantastic drill results that we put out, 3,000 grams, almost, holes that are 15, 16 feet wide with 600 grams to 1,000 grams. So that's been very exciting for the story. We've increased production by about 40% from last year, this year. So that mine's getting up and now is profitable given the current silver price. And then our mine in Mexico, it's had some challenges with COVID and a blockade, but that mine we expect to have up and running at the end of September. Put it in perspective, in January, that mine made $560,000 in the month of January, when silver prices were $17 and lead and zinc were about 20% lower than they are now. So with silver up $10 and lead and zinc up 20% from those prices, that thing will be a very profitable mine. So 2020 is looking to be a very good free cash flow year for the company. Basically, you've got Relief Canyon getting to full production in the first quarter next year. And you've got the 2 silver mines producing at $26, $27. So on analyst estimates, we're trading at 3 or 4 times free cash flow in 2021. So we think that will be an exciting catalyst for the company as those mines get up into full production again.
You know, I think we should put a petition out there to rename gold. Just call it Sprott. Let's just call it. Just call it the metal Sprott. Let's just call it a day. In all seriousness, though, you know, from what you can tell us, what would you say are some of the company's value catalysts now for the rest of this year going into 2021?
Yeah, so for sure, the biggest catalyst is Relief Canyon commercial production in the fourth quarter, and then that mine, sticking on that mine, getting to its full production in early first quarter. So because you know, if you're going to produce roughly 80,000 ounces a year at $800 an ounce, all in sustaining cost, and gold's at 1,900 or 2,000. That's going to create a tremendous amount of free cash flow for the company. So that's one in which everybody's very focused on. I think the second one is getting our Mexican operations again back up and running. That mine next year, if at full production, if we get it back up and running before the end of the year, can produce about $16 or $20 million of free cash flow. And then Galena, it's all about these great drill results. We continue to see we're basically drilling below an ore body that has produced 250 million ounces of silver. There's never been any drilling down there. In the old days, they were mining 25-ounce silver, which is almost 800 grams or so of silver. We've been mining 6 or 7 ounce for the last 10 years, and we finally had the money to go drill below, because you can't drill below between your feet. You have to get out a kilometer or 2 to be able to drill back underneath it to figure it out. We think we've got another 2,000 or 3,000 feet below us of really high-grade silver that can be mined. That's why Eric got into it. If you remember, one of Eric's great successes, and he's had many over the years, was Kirkland Lake. He bought into Kirkland Lake at $3 or $4. They bought a company called Fosterville, and they drilled below Fosterville and found this great gold deposit. And so he calls this deposit Fosterville Silver, because he believes that the depth below it. And so that, I think, is going to be a great catalyst. I think the Galena story, which has been a mine that has historically really struggled to generate free cash flow, at $27 silver, exciting time for that mine, because it's been a long time since it's had modern exploration and real money put into it. And so Eric's helped contribute to all that, and we're very excited about it, what it'll do through the rest of the quarter.
And with that, Darren, where can our audience go and find everything they need to know about America's gold and silver?
Well, if you can't get Andrea, Stefan, or I on the phone in the office, you can always send us an email at info@americas-gold.com, or obviously visit our website at www.americas-gold.com.
There we go. All right. Well, Darren, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Good luck. Stay safe. And I look forward to our next update.
Great. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Again, my name is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN Network, and we are the proud media sponsor for the upcoming Precious Metal Summit Beaver Creek, being held virtually this year. Darren will be there doing a presentation for America's Gold and Silver. And thank you all for listening today.